Alright folks, the day has finally come. I've been waiting to make this video. Frank Reich has been fired as head coach of the Carolina Panthers. We knew this day was imminent and inevitable. We just didn't know if it was going to come before the season's end or if our lovely owner David Tepper was going to allow Reich to finish the end of this year. But now it's official. Frank Reich is done as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. The Frank Reich era, it's over. Thank God. The Panthers are currently 1-10, which is good enough for the worst team in the league, and a lot of people on social media are still defending Frank Reich, saying, oh, he's not been given a fair chance. Oh, he wanted CJ Stroud in the draft. Oh, his roster sucks. Whatever. Mumbo jumbo. Here's the real truth. Here's the deal. Frank Reich got fired in Indy for a reason. He got fired because he was underperforming. He got fired here in Carolina for the same reason. He's not a good NFL head coach. Reich said earlier that there is no unconditional love in the NFL, and he's right. To that, I say, Frank, this is a performance-based business, not a family gathering. You weren't good and you got fired. There's no discussion. No one used to keep me less inspired on a Monday morning more than Frank Reich. I'm glad I won't have to listen to that anymore. If you wanted unconditional love, your offense should have been better. If you wanted unconditional love, you shouldn't allow a rookie quarterback to get drilled every game. You want unconditional love? Win more than one game, Frank. You deserve to be fired. That's it. You suck. Chris Tabor, the Panthers special teams coordinator, will take over duties as interim head coach, and Thomas Brown, the offensive coordinator, will be once again taking over play calling, with senior assistant Jim Caldwell being the special advisor to the offense. With the departure of Reich, we also have the firing of Josh McCown, the quarterbacks coach, and Deuce Staley, the running backs coach. And now we have to have the yearly question. Who's going to be the new head coach for the Carolina Panthers? Well, and currently the top candidates include Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, Michigan Wolverines suspended coach Jim Harbaugh, Commanders offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, Panthers current interim head coach Chris Tabor, Panthers senior assistant Jim Caldwell, as well as many other potential candidates including Bill Belichick, Lincoln Riley, Steve Wilks, and even former Panthers head coach Ron Rivera if he is fired from the Washington Commanders. So first off, let's go ahead and mark off Belichick. He's not coming to Carolina. Harbaugh, I see staying in college, especially if he has to come coach this team. I just think he will stay even through the suspension. I don't know enough about Chris Tabor's coaching ability. I mean, his special teams are pretty good. We can kick field goals and we know how to punt the football, but I can't really speak on him as a coach. We seem to do that on our own. Lincoln Riley will stay with USC. David Tepper does not have the humility to hire Ron Rivera back. And Steve Wilks isn't going to come re-interview for a job he should have had a year ago. Then we have the fan recommendations. Oh, fans, I really love y'all. I really, really do. But some of these ideas are just a little out there. My personal favorites include hiring Luke Kuechly, saying he'd bring the same type of vibe as Dan Campbell. I love Luke Kuechly. I think he is a mastermind of the game, mastermind of football. But head coach, that might just be stretching it a little. Defensive coordinator, absolutely sign him up today. But head coach, I'd be willing to try it. I think it'd be fun. I mean, put butts in seats. But he wouldn't be my first choice. Plus, him and David Tepper don't exactly have the best relationship from what I have heard. I have also heard some fans wanting Steve Smith to come be the head coach of this team. Again, love Steve. He's awesome. He loves our organization, and he loves the city of Charlotte. But I just don't think he'd be the best head coach option available. And the major problem with a lot of these candidates is who the heck wants to deal with David Tepper as an owner? David Tepper remains as the problem for the Carolina Panthers. He is quickly becoming the worst owner in the NFL. He has now had 6 coaches, if you count the interims, in 5 years. David Tepper has yet to put together a winning season as owner of this team. His roster is absolutely awful. His yes man, GM Scott Fitterer, may just be the second most hated man in Charlotte behind just David Tepper, as Fitterer's draft selections have been atrocious, and yet Tepper still has his hands on this team in the driver's seat. This team's future is disastrous. No first-round pick, no real offensive scheme, no identity, no desire to really come coach this team other than the fact that you do to get to coach Bryce Young. The true problem remains, and that is David Tepper. Tepper either needs to take his hands out of the organization, let his guys run it, or sell the team. It's just that simple. As far as an ideal coaching candidate, my favorite's Ben Johnson. He's a North Carolina native. He has completely changed the dynamic of the Lions offense, which is something the Panthers need desperately. He's young. He's innovative. I love Ben Johnson. He's my guy. He's my head coach 1 at this point. Whether he'd want to come to this dumpster fire or not, I'm not really sure. He did interview for the job last year and he backed out. But if we can't get him, I'd love Eric Bieniemy. It's been awesome to see what he's been able to do with Sam Howell in Washington, and I think he could do the same with Bryce Young. But again, Bieniemy has interviewed for the job before and he's never got it. In my heart, I really want Ron Rivera because of the joy that he brought me throughout my childhood, but I just don't know that Ron is still that guy. His style seems kind of outdated. I really do love him, but I just don't think he's the man. Plus, Tepper's never going to hire him. But let me know your thoughts. Who do you want to come in to take over this dysfunctional squad of the Carolina Panthers? And do you like the idea of Frank Reich being gone? Personally, I do. I really do hate it for him because he seems like a nice guy. But the NFL is a business, so he had to go. But let me know your thoughts. I absolutely love hearing from you. And guys, especially if you're a Panthers fan, I'm so sorry. This is going to be a long process.